Welcome to Smart Wealth with Joshua.
Your daily stock analysis and catalyst talk. Today we're looking at Novo Nordisk.
If you find our talks useful, please consider subscribe, like, and comment underneath to support our podcast. And if there's any stock you want us to look into, leave it in the comment section below.
So let's get into the analysis.
Okay, let's start with the core of it all. The fundamental growth engine. It's still GLP-1 based treatments, right? Ozempic, Wegovy.
Absolutely. That's still the heart of the story. These aren't just selling well. They're the reason for this consistent, really strong, double-digit revenue growth.
But it feels like more than just riding a wave. There's a definite strategy shift happening here.
There is. Management has been very clear about this. They are strengthening their leadership in metabolic diseases.
And to do that, they're actually cutting back elsewhere.
Exactly. They're trimming the pipeline, cutting R&D efforts that fall outside of obesity and diabetes to, concentrate capital where they see the highest growth.
That sounds risky. I mean, they're sacrificing some diversification to just double down on what's working now.
It's a calculated risk. They see the opportunity here as so massive, so certain, that it justifies putting almost all their resources behind it. It's a deliberate, what they call margin accretive shift.
Making every dollar work harder in their strongest area.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that focus is what's enabling the massive new catalysts we need to talk about.
The oral product.
The old product. The launch of the once-daily oral Wegovy, the 25 milligram version here in the U.S.
This feels like a huge deal. It's the first and, for now, the only oral GLP-1 for weight loss.
It completely changes the game for patient access. Think about the sheer number of people who might avoid injectables.
The needle aversion.
Millions of potential patients.
Yeah.
This moves it from a specialty treatment to something that feels more like a standard daily pill for a chronic condition.
Okay, but the big question is always efficacy. Can a pill really match the shot?
That's the million-dollar question, and the Phase 3 OASIS 4 data gave a very clear answer.
And what did it find?
It showed a mean weight loss of negative 13.6%.
Wow.
Yeah, compared to just negative 2.2% for the placebo group.
So that's basically on par with the injectable forms.
It is. It proves the efficacy is there. They haven't sacrificed performance for convenience, and that is absolutely crucial.
So efficacy is proven, but scaling this up, funding the R&D, it takes a lot of capital. How's their financial health?
Very strong. They maintain a pretty conservative balance sheet, which is what supports this sustained R&D spend, and critically, the huge expansion in manufacturing capacity they need right now.
And I saw they're also doing a major restructuring internally to free up even more cash.
Yes, and the numbers are significant. They're targeting about, $1.3 billion in annual cost savings by the end of 2026.
$1.3 billion annually. Yeah. How?
By streamlining operations and, as we mentioned, ending certain research programs like their cell therapy R&D, they're redirecting that capital entirely.
That discipline really seems to be their competitive moat then. It's not just the drugs, it's the financial strategy behind them.
It is. And it allows them to be strategic externally, too. They don't have to rely solely on their own internal pipeline.
They can acquire innovation.
Right. Look at the $2 billion license for the UBT251 triple agonist.
Okay, let's break that down. Triple agonist. What does that actually mean for a patient?
So the current drugs are mostly single agonists. They target one hormonal pathway. A triple agonist targets 3 different pathways all at once.
So it's a more comprehensive approach?
Exactly. The idea is to get even more weight loss, maybe with fewer side effects. It's the next generation of these therapies.
And they have another next-gen therapy that's even closer, right? Cagrilema.
Yes, Cagrilema. They've already filed it with the FDA.
Yeah.
It's a combination of amylin and semaglutide.
And adding amylin does what exactly?
It enhances the feeling of fullness in the brain, slows down digestion even more. Basically, it boosts the effects of semaglutide.
And the data?
The Phase 3 data was incredibly impressive. It showed about 20.4% weight loss at 68 weeks.
20%? That's approaching surgical levels.
It is. And it positions Cagrilema perfectly as a step-up therapy.
So for a patient who plateaus on Wegovy,
they can move to Cagrilema for a significant new boost. It builds a product ladder, keeping patients within their ecosystem.
For a while, it seemed like their main competitor, Eli Lilly, had a bit of an edge in terms of pure efficacy.
That was the perception, yes. With their dual agonist, Zepbound.
But it looks like Novo Nordisk is closing that gap.
They're actively addressing it. The clinical data we're seeing now for both the new oral Wegovy and a high-dose injectable version suggests they can deliver weight loss that's comparable to, or maybe even better than, Lilly's offerings.
So that perceived weakness is gone.
It's being neutralized. which brings the conversation back to access, convenience, and distribution. And that's where the pill gives them a huge advantage.
Right. The market momentum and distribution story, the narrative has completely shifted.
Completely. It's being framed as a weight loss pill for the masses. And the key thing is, it's now broadly available across America.
For the last couple of years, the whole story was about shortages. You couldn't get it.
Exactly. It was a supply-constrained story.
Yeah.
Now, it's a mass market distribution story. That's a massive psychological shift for investors, for doctors, for everyone.
And they're not just using traditional pharmacies. I saw they're leveraging Amazon Pharmacy.
Which is huge. They're cutting out so much friction from the process. Getting a prescription filled and delivered becomes almost seamless.
And there's talk about vending machine-style kiosks.
Potentially at places like One Medical. Imagine that. You move this drug from a complex specialty pharmacy process to something closer to instant retail access. It's a logistics masterstroke.
They're also playing a longer game, a cultural one, with campaigns against weight stigma.
Which is very shrewd. By framing obesity as a chronic disease, not a lifestyle failure, they're building long-term demand.
It supports insurance coverage, encourages earlier treatment.
And it helps reduce regulatory risk down the line. They're building the entire category, not just selling a product.
And on the policy front, there's a huge catalyst coming.
A critical one. The expectation that Medicare Part D will start covering anti-obesity medicines in 2026.
For certain populations, at least to start.
Yes, but that alone will materially expand the addressable market. When Medicare comes on board for a condition this widespread, it unlocks a massive new wave of reimbursed patients.
Okay, so that's the bull case. It's pretty compelling, but we have to talk about the risks, the bear case.
And it starts with competition and pricing pressure.
Generics.
Generics are already a reality. We've seen generic semaglutide enter the market in Canada, and that led to some pretty big price resets there. That pressure will only grow globally.
And it's not just official generics, right? There's a gray market.
A significant one. You see products sourced from India being offered to U.S. patients at much lower prices online.
Which puts a ceiling on how high they can price the official product long term.
It does. But they're mitigating this risk in a very smart way by expanding into higher value indications. They're getting the drug approved, not just for weight loss, but for things like reducing the risk of heart attacks and strokes.
So major adverse cardiovascular events.
Exactly. And also for MAH, which is a fatty liver disease, and kidney disease. These are hard, costly outcomes that payers will absolutely pay a premium to prevent.
It changes the conversation from weight loss to saving lives and saving the system money.
Precisely. And on top of that, their newer formulations, like the oral pill and CagriSema, are patent protected for years to come.
What about the other big risk? Just execution. Eli Lilly is coming on strong. Can Novo Nordisk keep up with this incredible demand?
That is the key operational risk. Manufacturing scale-up, the global rollout, ensuring the supply of this new pill is consistent. It's a monumental logistics challenge.
If they have another major supply disruption, the market will not be forgiving.
No, it won't. But the amount of capital and focus they're putting on this suggests they understand the stakes. They are all in on execution.
So let's tie this all together. What's the thesis here?
I think what we're seeing is Novo Nordisk transforming its obesity franchise from, a premium injectable for a niche market into a true mass market platform.
A platform with multiple options: injectables, oral pills, next-gen combos.
Right. And you have these structural catalysts: Medicare coverage, digital distribution, expanding into these high-value disease areas that are creating powerful tailwinds for years to come.
So it looks like a compelling multi-year compounder profile. For investors looking at the new term, say the next 6 to 12 months, what are the key things to watch?
I'd look for tactical upside around two things. First, the ramp-up of the oral product. How quickly does that gain market share? And second, the regulatory milestones for CagriSema.
It's a business that's really built on innovation and just incredible scale.
And what's just fascinating is the sheer velocity of it all. The speed of the shift from a controlled clinical setting to the mass retail market. That transformation is what fundamentally changes the company's trajectory.
So to wrap up, here's a final thought for you to consider. If culture and policy really do succeed in reframing obesity as a chronic disease in the U.S., what happens in, say, 5 years? Could we see preventative weight management become a standard reimbursed practice? And what would that do to an already enormous market?
Something to think about.
Thank you for tuning in to Smart Wealth with Joshua. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily stock analysis.